Today we're going to be trying something not really new, but returning to Taco Bell. It's the Cantina Crispy Melt Taco, which is now apparently just the Crispy Melt Taco. Interestingly enough, if you go to the Taco Bell website, on the menu it says Crispy Melt Taco, but when you scroll down to the description of the product, it says Cantina Crispy Melt Taco. So they're the same thing. I guess they took the Cantina name off for some reason. I couldn't tell you why. Who knows? But they left the name on the website description. So these came out sometime last year. I'm not sure exactly when. And I did a short review of it. It was one of the first YouTube shorts I think I did. And I wasn't too descriptive about it, but I really enjoyed them at the time. I think they were a 5 out of 5. So I think I'll enjoy them this time as well. So this video is going to be a bit more esoteric, a bit more about numbers, I should say. Because I have a lot to talk about in terms of actual math and numbers at Taco Bell in terms of prices. So if that doesn't interest you, this is probably not going to be interesting to you at all. I'll get it out of the way. The Crispy Cantina Melt Tacos, I think, are excellent. They raised the price. They used to be $2.19, now they're $2.49. Not too bad. I guess it's understandable. That's only 30 cents. But it can be a little pricey for a taco, but considering their regular tacos are like $1.79, and these white corn tortilla shells are really good, and they put cheese in the bottom, which is the important part. There's melty cheese in the bottom, then the meat, then it's like a regular taco on top. It's an excellent idea. I like it. The only thing I really have to complain about is the implementation of the pricing and the combo boxes and stuff like that. But if you want to try one of these, totally worth it at $2.49. Get one. If you like it, get some more because they're really good. Except the Taco Bell I went to this time, I went to a different one because I was just doing errands and stuff. And I don't think they're quite as good as the normal Taco Bell I go to. I'm going to actually break this one open a little bit because it's just a little bit messy and not quite as cheesy as it probably should be. So there should be more cheese here on the bottom, but instead they kind of just put a tiny bit of cheese on the bottom and kind of flaked out on me on these ones. So again, something I want to emphasize that is definitely true for anybody watching this video. Location matters. You might know this if you frequent a lot of fast food places, but if you don't, you might not realize that locations really do matter. The Taco Bell nearest to my house is actually great. They do a good job every time. And this Taco Bell apparently is not as good. And they forgot my Fiesta potatoes, which really is unfortunate. That's, that sucks. I really like the potatoes at Taco Bell and they forgot them. But for some reason they gave me 3 large Pepsis instead of 1. I think they just made the 2 other Pepsis for an order and somebody didn't pick them up, so they just gave them to me. So I guess that's nice. They're nice people, but not so nice in terms of doing the job. Whatever. So location matters. Make sure you go to a good Taco Bell if you know which Taco Bell is good around you. I feel like we should create like somebody should create some kind of, I mean, there's already like Google reviews and stuff like that, but somebody should make like a website that's just, is this a good fast food place? Like, is this a good Burger King? Is this a good McDonald's? Is this a good Taco Bell? Because I could tell you about the places around my area, and I'm sure other people can tell you about the places around where they live, and that would be really nice information to have. But yes, the Cantina Crispy Melt Taco, when done correctly, is pretty fat and filling for $2.49. You could probably eat 2 of them and have a meal for $5, no problem. And they're good. They're great. 5 out of 5. Now we're going to move on to the numbers. This is where things get a little bit more interesting, at least to me. I don't know if it's going to be interesting to you, but if you're still watching, maybe it will be. Okay, first off, I wrote this down for a reason because I'll forget. Crispy Melt Taco, as I said, $2.49. They also have a black bean version of the Crispy Melt Taco, and that is on the menu at $2.49. Now, of course, you can swap out chicken and steak and stuff like that into the tacos if you want to for a price, for a change, an upgrade charge and all that. Important thing right now, if you're watching this video February 2nd to the 15th, they have a free black bean crispy Cantina taco reward if you spend $10 or more. So that's easy to hit $10 at Taco Bell. That probably won't be a problem for anybody. But the interesting thing about this, and I guess this is a little bit of a food hack for the next 2 weeks if you want to use this, if you're in the app and you add this deal to your account and you add the black bean taco, and you're someone like me, say, who doesn't really want a black bean taco, you want a meat taco, they said no substitutions and stuff like in the fine print, But I swapped the black beans for steak for an extra 60 cents, and it covered it, which is the most interesting part. Like when I went to checkout, it took $2.49 off when I had the black bean taco. I added the steak, I think it was $3.19, so maybe it was 70 cents. It was $3.19, and then it took $3.19 off. So if you're gonna do this, I don't know if they'll fix it or whatever, but you can upgrade it to steak or chicken, and also get that for free with this current coupon they have. So definitely do that if you're gonna check these out. Anyway, back to the new things. The other new thing they introduced this experience, which is what Taco Bell calls their like monthly, now it's like every 2 months when they change up their menu and stuff. They call them experiences. The other thing they added besides the return of the crispy melt tacos is Cravings Trios, $5 Cravings Trios. So these are on the actual menu versus the Cravings box, which you can only get on the app. But we'll get into the numbers. I don't think it's quite the deal you really want, but it's not that bad. So the Cravings Trio lets you get either a crunch. You can either get one Crunch Wrap, a Burrito Supreme, or a Cheese Gordita Crunch. So you pick one of those, and then you get a Doritos Locos Taco and a large drink with it for $5. So you get one of the main things, one Doritos Locos Tacos and a large drink for $5. Not too bad, but you have to consider that there is the $5 My Cravings box, which will almost give you the same thing, but with an extra side. Now, there are differences, okay? In the Cravings box, this is where we're going to get into really crazy detailed numbers that nobody will probably care about. So unless you're caring about saving like 50 cents, you probably don't want to listen to this, but the Cravings box comes with a medium soda, while the Cravings Trio comes with a large soda. So it's 20 cents in my app. It's 20 cents to upgrade the medium to a large in the My Cravings box. So now you're up to $5.20. The other thing is you don't get a Doritos Locos taco with the Cravings box. You get a regular taco, or you can swap it for like a bean burrito and stuff like that. But if you're talking about tacos, if you want to get a nacho cheese Doritos Locos taco, at least here, you have to pay an extra 90 cents on top of the $5. So if you want to match it, if you want parity with the Cravings Trio, you're paying, at least in my area, $6.10 for a My Cravings box versus $5 for the Cravings Trio. Except in the Cravings box, you're also getting a side. So now the question becomes, is the side worth $1.10? And the answer varies because there's 3 different sides you can get, at least around here. You can get the cinnamon twists, you can get the chips and cheese, or you can get Fiesta potatoes. Now, if you're going for the cinnamon twists, you should just get the Cravings Trio, because cinnamon twists on their own on the menu here are $1. So that's actually not going to save you any money. You're going to be paying more for that because the difference is $1.10, as I said. So a Cravings Trio plus cinnamon twists will be $6 versus the same thing in the My Cravings box for $6.10. So don't get the Cravings box if you're looking to get the cinnamon twist. But if you're going for the chips and cheese or the Fiesta potatoes, now you're talking about savings, because the chips and cheese is $1.99. And the Fiesta potatoes, especially, they're $2.19. So if you wanted to get those, you are saving about, $1 or 90 cents versus the Cravings Trio. So you have to take all this math into account. It really depends on what you want. This time around, I got the My Cravings box because I wanted the Fiesta potatoes, because I think the potatoes at Taco Bell are really good when they're not old. That's a whole nother rant, but Taco Bell potatoes can either be fresh and really good or old and terrible. But I got the Cravings box. I paid $6.10 to get the Doritos Locos Taco and upgrade to a large Pepsi and the Fiesta potatoes, versus what it would cost to get a Cravings Trio and a Fiesta potato on the side would be $7.19. So I saved money in that way. Hopefully that all made sense to everybody. Now, there is another edge case to this, which is what I do sometimes, because my Taco Bell seems to take the potatoes on and off of the menu for some reason. So sometimes I can't get the Fiesta potato, so I have to get the chips and cheese. Now, I don't really care about the chips in the chips and cheese. I just want the cheese sauce, generally. I don't use the chips. I'll use the cheese sauce on what I already got. If you're one of those people like me who just wants to use the cheese sauce on your tacos or your cheese gordita crunches and stuff, a side of nacho cheese is 75 cents. So you'd be better off getting a Cravings Trio with a side of nacho cheese for $5.75 instead of the My Cravings box with the upgrades for $6.10. So hopefully that all made sense to everybody. Now we're going to get into the real scandalous part. So those numbers pretty minor. I mean, these numbers are also going to be pretty minor, but this is the part where it's a little bit annoying. So those numbers you could argue it's just the thing because they have different combos and stuff. It's not really a bad deal either way. Just depends on what you want. So that's fine. Now we got the new Deluxe Cravings box, which is on the menu at $7.99. That Deluxe Cravings box comes with one Crispy Melt Taco, one Chalupa Supreme, one beefy 5-layer burrito, chips and cheese, and a medium soda, $7.99. Now, you may notice this if you're a My Cravings box person. All those items are in the My Cravings box. You could get a My Cravings box for $5 with a Chalupa Supreme, a beefy 5-layer burrito, chips and cheese, and a medium drink for $5. You could customize your box to be that way for $5. There would be no surcharge to get all that. And the Crispy Melt Tacos are $2.49. So when you do the math there, if you get a Cravings box and a taco on its own, you'd be paying $7.49. Whereas if you get the Deluxe Cravings box, which is identical, you're paying $7.99. So that's just a ripoff. The Deluxe Cravings box can sometimes be a good deal depending on what they put in it, because they change it with every experience. But this one is just a straight ripoff. You're just paying 50 cents more, at least here. Again, prices can vary depending on where you are, but at least here, you're just paying 50 cents extra for the exact same thing, which is terrible. So that's my list right here. I'll put it up here in case anybody wants to try to read my handwriting. That's the one side, and then I got a whole other side with my purple pen, and then I remembered to write in my black ink. So that's the nerdy Taco Bell math numbers of this video, which is pretty much just explaining that the Crispy Melt Taco is back and it's good, and I think you should try it. It's a 5 out of 5. But just make sure, if you're somebody like me who wants to get the maximum value out of things, that you do the math when you're talking about Cravings boxes and Cravings trios and stuff like that. Do the math before you order, because sometimes you will lose money depending on what you want versus what you get. Even if it's only $1.50, to me it's important. I don't know if it will be to you. Maybe it is. Maybe this is good advice. If not, thanks for watching, I guess. So that's that, and I will see you all next time.